Hello, guys. Thank you so much, Tristan, for your wonderful performance. It warms up our heart, and I think we're ready to receive some spiritual teaching now. And thank you, Donna, for the introduction. And so today's topic is on resurrection. As you know, the month of May is the celebration of Master's resurrection. So the topic that I want to introduce, the subtopic, is how we can start a new life right at this moment. You know, even though it was a celebration for Master.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Can you go back to the other? No. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so as we know, it's a celebration for Master's resurrection, but also believe that month of May can also be a celebration of our own resurrection as well. So with that in mind, I have put my heart and soul and ideas and energy into this presentation. So I hope you guys enjoy it and find some nuggets for your own resurrection starting today. So he, oh,
In the bottom right.
Yeah, she's okay.
okay, maybe tilt it up more center right here.
Here.
Yeah, this is great.
There we go.
Yeah, tilt it up maybe.
Yeah. There.
Okay. Thank you guys for waiting. So here's the rundown for today's lecture. So one, it's what is the significance of Master's resurrection? And number two, how does that relate to us? And number three, is the untapped potential that is within all of us. And number four, that will be a life of triumph. So I truly believe that there's a nugget for every single one of you guys in this presentation, that after this presentation, you can start a life of triumph. So hopefully you guys can grasp that nugget. So as we know, on the day of May 14th, 2004, our master, Yuho Okawa, has been diagnosed with an overflooding of the chest liquid on this day. And when the doctor saw this x-ray, he was telling Master's wife that he's already a dead man. He's dead. But how is Master still alive today? How come he is still, after 17 years, he is still giving us lectures, movies, every single year, and music every single year? And that is because he have unfinished work that is still left here on earth in this lifetime. As we sang the song with Savior, now is the age of crisis, and the world is entering into a period where there's so much darkness, so much confusion. So Master, with his heart to save his disciple, cannot leave us without him, without his golden words, without his golden teaching. So with that determination, he surpassed what the physical condition deem as physical death. But even though we know the result as it is now, he actually had doubts throughout that process. During the evening, he said, when he went to the washroom alone, he actually had the thought that is this the end of my life? Because as we know, Master is, the God of the universe, the God of earth. So we think that it's a matter of fact that he doesn't have any doubt. It's a matter of fact that he can surpass this. But I want to bring this point forward that even though he is the master, he still have the same human emotion as us. So he was going through doubt. It's not that he has no doubt, it's that his will to survive, his will to live on is so much stronger than that doubt in his mind. So remember that. And he said, I cannot die now. Now is not the time. And I won't die until I finish my mission. So with that, 17 years after, we're still able to enjoy the fruits of Master's labor. So here's what Master has done after that incident in 2004. He was a man on a mission. At one point, after the surgery, not surgery, after the diagnosis, these are the thoughts that occur in Master's mind. So he was thinking to himself, I'm not sure if I'm gonna die within 5 to 10 years. That is his actual thought that went through his mind. If this really is my last 5 to 10 years here on earth, then I should live my life with no regrets. So with that conviction, here's what he has done following that incident. In 2007, even though his physical body was frail, he's weak, but he still went on the world missionary work. That's his first stop to Hawaii in 2007. And after that, he established the Happiness Realization Party in 2009. And in 2010, I was reading this book. It's actually called The Moment of Truth. It's a book that records the 5 lecture Master has given in Brazil. And the mindset that he had in that tour was he was ready to die in the midst of that tour. He was ready. That's his mindset. And in 2010, the same year, Master has established Happy Science Academy Junior and Senior High School in Nasu. And shortly after that, in 3 years, he also established another junior senior high school in Kansai. So some background information about what has happened in this period is that we already know this is the fact. We know how much Master has done, but what he has gone through while he was going through this period, people actually thinking that he has gone mad. Why is he doing all of these things that do not relate to religion, that do not relate to happy science? People around him actually thought he has lost his mind. So what is the significance of Master's resurrection? What is this experience tell us as his disciples? I believe that, the first one is the mind is the controller of the body. The mind is the ruler of the body. And the power of the mind is much stronger than what our body is feeling. So that's also a teaching that Master has been teaching us every single book that he has written. So that's point number 1. And number 2, we are given this life on earth to fulfill our mission, whatever that mission might be for you, and only you know. So we must spend the rest of the time given to us from now on fully devoting to accomplishing the work that are meant for us. So I hope this is able to give us a new perspective on the body that we've been given. This body is not given to us just to go through, the motion of life. We eat, we probably hang out with our friends, our family, and then we sleep. And then the next day we repeat all over again. That is what majority of the people live through their lives. But our body is a vehicle, is a vessel for us to do the work that is meant for us. So that I believe is the significance of Master's resurrection. So, so how does this relate to us? You know, now that we know that's the meaning of Master's miracle, but how does that apply to us? How does that relate to us? So I believe that when we acknowledge the body is just a vehicle and our mind is the ruler, that means wherever we are right now, there's a second chance given to us to start a whole new life, a life that resonates with the depth of our soul. You know, I'm not sure what you want to do in this lifetime. I don't know what you're meant to do in this lifetime. I don't know what that mission, that passion inside your heart is, you know, in this lifetime. But whatever that might be, you know, we can start that starting from today. And that's what I truly believe. And number two is that from the Son Savior, we know that right now, the battle of darkness and light is at the peak, you know. So the battle of light and darkness is real. So for us, as the disciples of Happy Signs, of Lord Alcantara, we must become a creator of hope and possibilities that can shine through this world. You know, if not us, who else? If not now, when? You know, because the Savior is alive now. So the untapped potential within us. So I want to tell you a story about a young girl from Houston, Texas. When he was young, he was actually born inside a very religious household. The household go to church every Sunday. So on Sunday, this girl has the gift of a beautiful voice. So he go to the church and sing the choir every Sunday, you know. So it's very conservative, you know, kind of style. But later on, because she's very talented in the way she sings, she start forming a group of 2 and then 6 and then go on to compete across the country in United States. And guess what? She won a lot of competition. And at the time, because of the mass media, what they suggest she sing is the opposite of what is required of her as a church choir singing girl. They want something more explicit, more sensual, more out there, you know, more performing. So she actually, you know, created this alter ego, another image within herself called Sasha Fierce. And Sasha Fierce is a personality within her that is very sensual, that is not afraid to express herself on stage. And as it goes, this persona she's been living with about 10 years from the time she started singing on stage, and eventually she's actually one of the international star we know today. Do you know who she is? Beyonce, exactly. She is Beyonce. So Beyonce, as we know, we thought she was born that way. We thought that she's born being that beautiful, elegant, expressive, a Showtime performer. But little did we know, she did not grow up like that. She had to cultivate that aspect within herself to match with her calling in life, to match with that shining self that is required of her to be that international icon. So here's what she said. I've created an alter ego. Things I do when performing, I would never do normally. I reveal things about myself that I wouldn't do in an interview. And then she also said, I have out of body experience on stage. If I cut my leg, if I fall, I don't even feel it. I'm so fearless. I'm not aware of my face or my body. I have someone else that takes over when it's time for me to work and when I'm on stage. This alter ego that I've created kind of protect me and who I really am. So my point of sharing this story is that there's that hero inside you right now, even though you have never met that person, even though it's someone that you never imagined yourself to be, that person is in there. It's like a muscle. I truly believe that this is like a muscle. If we train it, if we call that person forward every single day, one step at a time, it might be very uncomfortable at the beginning, but through that muscle training day after day, that person might become who you are. So in 2008, Beyonce, when she released the album, I Am Sasha Fierce album, she announced to the world that she no longer needs this persona to be herself anymore. So let me share with you another very interesting research. So it's in a recent University of Minnesota study. So they studied 4 and 6-year-old children. They found that to teach kids about perseverance, parents should teach their children to pretend to be Batman or any other favorite character that resonate with them, that they deem as superhero in their mind, because it creates psychological distance. So this research actually take place in a room, and then they have 3 group of kids. So one group is okay, so here's the research. They have this gift locked inside this glass box, and then they give the kids this set of keys, but none of these keys work. So they're trying to test how much time these kids are willing to persevere to open the gift. So there's 3 groups. One group is just act as themselves, the kid themselves. The second group is pretend to be their favorite superhero. Just pretend, you know. And the third group is they actually have a costume, a cape, where they actually dress as that superhero. And the research found that the group that is the least persevering is the group that is being themselves. After a short while, they just give up. They get tired of it. They give up the fastest when they just act as themselves. And the second group is the group that pretend to be the superhero. They pretend they're the Batman. They pretend they're the Superman. They just pretend. So they're still more resilient, but they still give up. And as you know, the third group is the group that actually dress up as that superhero. They actually become that superhero, because there's a very interesting fact that they have found. The kids that put on the costume, when they are trying to open the lock with the key, even though it's not working, but the kid is telling himself, Batman does not give up. So I cannot give up. Batman do not give up this easily. Batman keeps going, so I must keep going. So what this research has taught us is the importance of act as if, you know. So there's a very, very powerful, you know, truth this study has taught us is the power of identity. The power of how we see ourselves and what happens when we, for a moment in time, can call forth a different self. And Master has been teaching us this truth all along, but in a different fashion. He has been teaching us in every single book. And that truth is this: we become what we constantly thinking about every single day. We are what we can imagine from the book I Can. We are the imaging power. So when we can imagine ourselves to be that superhero, it's not that we and the superhero is different. We actually take on the qualities of that superhero. We become that. So that's a spiritual truth that the study has not taught us. But as a disciple of Happy Science, we know this truth, and we can apply what the study has done with the spiritual truth. And that is truly spiritual science that we are now able to enjoy. So now I want to take a moment in time where we can meditate on two aspects. So the first aspect is, what is a passion within you that you have always wanted to do and accomplish in life? And become very clear about that. So that will be the first half. And the second half is, what are the qualities that person that you see in your mind must possess in order to make this passion a reality? So let's, before we start, let's do some breathing exercise. So sit up straight, cross legs or legs on the ground, whichever one you prefer. Take 3 deep breaths from the nose all the way to the diaphragm, and then out from your mouth. And then second, from the nose, out through the mouth. And the last one, from the nose, all the way to your diaphragm, and then out through the mouth. And relax your body, loosen up your shoulder and your legs. And now we're ready to start. Hope you guys have a fresh new perspective on your ideal self and your ideal future. And life of triumph. So this part, actually, before I move on to this part, I want to say something about Beyonce's story and the study of the kids. For myself, I've always had the dream of becoming a coach in my life. A coach that can uplift the people in this world, and also whoever's struggling in their lives, I can give them something of value because of the struggles and pain that I've gone through. So this person is someone who can uplift others and empowers them. But I started this dream when I was in my early 20s, 2021, I believe. I started having this dream. But then every time I share that with my family, my dad, he will be the one to say it's not possible. He will say, who is you to make this dream a reality? If Obama cannot do that, what makes you believe that you can do it? So not gonna lie, being someone that is very pure, that just dream a big dream at a young age, I was crushed. I was crushed. All the courage I had about being this coach, I start doubting my ability, whether or not I can truly be this coach. If someone close to me in my family do not even believe in me, what makes me believe in myself? So that was my mentality at the time. So this has been about like slowly become like a snowball effect, you know, this self-doubt. And it was not until I think 3 years that this self-doubt was like gripping my mind. And I'm always hesitating to believe in my decision. So after studying master's teaching about we are the creator, that we become what we think about in our lives, you know, after I studied that, it still took some time to really apply it in my life because all the doubts from the past was a big momentum, you know, that is still carrying forward. So I'm basically, this is master's teaching, and that is the momentum from the past. I'm wrestling between the two, which one should I believe in more? So, and it's not until recently, 3 years after joining Happy Science and applying master's teaching as my own truth, that I'm starting to regain that belief again. I started realize from meditation that if I let my dad's opinion, his doubts, his impossibility become my impossibility, that means I'm letting his way of thinking to control me. But I'm not him. So why will I let his perception to control me? It doesn't make sense. Why will I let his impossibility, his doubt, his way of what is possible to control me? So when I take that leap forward, I come to realize I need to be stronger. I need to be the one that take the responsibility of what comes after. So the reason why I share this story is because when we go after what we truly want in life, we are going to be met with so many opposition. We are going to receive words that we do not want to hear. That might crumble us. That might crush our souls. But how can we be strong enough to hold on to that vision? So this is something I want to share. And Master's teaching is all about becoming a self-reliant person, become independent, stand on our own 2 feet with nothing but faith. So that's Master's teaching, faith in him, faith in that we are children of Buddha, that we can create our lives. So yeah, this is what I want to share before we move on. So time to bring out this book, A Life of Triumph. Let's open page 79, chapter 3. Yeah, this is very powerful. My initial idea was to show this lecture to you guys, but because we don't have any records, and I feel that there's a very strong message in these 2 sections in the chapter, so let's read it together. So it's more a immersive experience for all of us. So have great hope. So this is a poem. And for those of you who are at home, if you can bring, if you have this book, so read it along with us, is page 79, chapter 3. So have great hope. We must all have great hope. Let the light of God flow forth. Let the power of God flood through. Let the courage of God pour forth. Let them continuously pour forth upon you. He is the great wellspring of light, our ocean of wisdom, the mountain and river of love, and the skies of compassion. Feel the touch of his sweet breeze as it passes by, to dry those glistening tears overcast upon your eyes. So Master has a little following description, and here's what he says. This verse opens by saying, have great hope, to remind us that hope is the basis of everything in this life. That is why, to live by the New Thought philosophy, everything ultimately comes down to having hope. Hope is where our journey of life begins, and also our ultimate destination. If our heart's desire truly is to live a positive life and create a shining future, then the one thing we must do beyond all else is hope for that positive life and wish for that positive future. Countless works of poetry, theory, and philosophy have tried to explain this idea. Without a heart of hope, or at least the desire to have one, we won't have the means to embark on this journey in the first place. So the philosophy of New Thought is commonly regarded as relying heavily on help from an outside power. True, there is a light above us that embraces, directs, and guides us through life, but we can only be reached if we ourselves first have hope. That is to say, we won't be able to bring light into our life without our own resolution and determination to do so. With a pessimistic mind, we react as though we desire a life of darkness, making any attempt by heaven to send us help a futile effort. No matter what means or miracles are used, this is why our own heart, our own mind must, before all else, resolve on a destiny of light. And then the next paragraph is one of my favorites. This resoluteness of our mind. Oh yeah, we're on page 81, Chris. Yeah, 81 at the top. Yeah. This resoluteness of our mind is all we need to call forth the words and light of hope that we seek. This verse promises that when we determine to hold on to our hopes, God's light and power will pour forth, not just once, but ceaselessly, continuously, forever. When our inner world stands firm, resolved, we allow the light to reach us directly and shine straight upon us, or we may feel it springing out from within and engulfing us with its embrace. These are the moments that truly bring us the power of salvation. Not only will we feel God's light and power pour forth, we will also be imbued with his courage. Can you tell where this courage comes from? We humans were originally fragments of God that long ago split off into unique individual souls. Therefore, though we are indeed individual beings, we are more essentially a part of God with his same qualities inside us. Our remembrance of this truth allows us to call forth the powerful courage of God that is already lying within our being. Can you envision what will happen when this courage of God comes to us? As our courage rises within us, so do the wellspring of light and the ocean of wisdom as clear as though they have appeared before our eyes. These are reservoirs of energy brimming to their horizons. Everywhere we feel reserve of tremendous power and universal wisdom plenteously surrounding us. Turning our gaze above shows us great mountains and rivers of bounteous love. Even the sky exudes compassion. Then, even when our eyes become misty with tears of emotion, a fresh breeze blowing by, seeming from nowhere, helps them dry. In this way, this verse shows us how precious it is in our life to know that we're all children of God, provided with the most blessed surroundings to lead a life of light. So powerful. So this is the first verse. I want to share one more verse, the next one, because they're very tightly connected. Dream of success. You shall dream of nothing but success. The defeated dream of defeat. The triumphant dream of triumph. If you are going to dream, why not dream of victory? Why not dream of triumph? Why not dream of success? Only when you have held fast to good dreams will triumph comes to you in the fullness of time. So, Master said, we are told further in this verse what it means to have great hope. What is great hope? It is the dream of success. It is a dream of success. Then in the following lines, we are told that when we fall into a defeatist attitude, it is crucial to remember that defeat is never a consequence of someone else's success over us, but only a result of our own choice to fail. When we stop dreaming the dream of success, we fail, not about others. This is all eternal. If we are children of God, then no other dream but the dream of triumph befits us. Wow. So why do we hesitate to dream of triumph? Why aren't we already dreaming of success? Defeat isn't remotely possible for those who are triumphant in life and know that they are triumphant. They are confident because they have awakened to who they are and have discovered the part of God within them, the part that become what they can imagine. This inner knowing has given them courage. As their courage has arisen, their path have opened wide. And these paths have promised to lead them to success. We need to hold fast to our dreams. Never let the opinions of others defeat that as continuously as possible. It is not nearly enough to merely think of a dream, since success cannot be created by a fleeting thought of the mind. Rather, success arises from an abiding conviction that generates an enduring motivation and desire to reach the goal. There needs to be a strong will to sustain it over time. In contrast, a motivation that cannot be sustained vanishes as soon as it emerges, and emerges and vanishes again, like the evidence of bubbles rising to the surface. They never last long enough to bear any fruit. Wow, these two verses, when I first read them, it touched me so much. It just makes sense. It makes so much sense what Master has been teaching us. So I want to repeat again. So there's two. Resolve to embody hope is the first message that Master have. Resolve to embody hope. The second message is dream of nothing but success. That is the hope for the Lord. That's the hope, individual hope within each person. It might not be the hope of Lord Alcantara, but that is your hope that contribute to his big hope. So the first one, resolve to embody hope. I just want to stress again because this is so powerful and it just touched my heart so much. True, there's a light above us that embraces, directs, and guides us through life. But we can only be reached by that if we ourselves first have hope. That is to say, we won't be able to bring light into our life without our own resolution and determination to do so. So we are responsible. Not my dad, nobody else, myself. And the second one, is this resoluteness of our mind is all we need to call for the words and light of hope that we seek, all within us. When this is good, the light will come forth. This verse promises that when we determine to hold on to our hopes, God's light and power will pour forth, not just once, but ceaselessly. When we have God's help, what other help do we need? Nobody's. Well, of course, we need to work together to bring the Shibu alive too. And the second one is dream of nothing but success. What is great hope? It is the dream of success. And that dream of success varies from person to person. What applies to Tris is different than Sunny. So every single one of us is very unique. So embrace that dream. However big or small it might be, it's big for you. It's big for your soul. So if we are children of God, this is another one that really, really touched my soul. And I try to repeat it every day as my, as my gospel. If we are children of God, then no other dream but the dream of triumph befits us. If we are children of God, and no other dream than the dream of triumph befits us. No, this can be a song, Whoever can make a song about this, I'm going to listen to every day. So this is the message from this book, Resolve to Embody Hope, and also Dream of Nothing But Success. And this new resurrection that has called upon you is that hope that has been within you all this time. And that hope is your dream of success, your dream of triumph that your soul resonates with. So I hope that with this resurrection and the clarity of this hope within you, anything is possible in your life. And last but not least, the Savior is now with us. Today, let's live today as our whole life. Let's give everything we got each and every day. Like building a muscle. It's okay. We only live 5 pounds. But tomorrow I'm going to live 6 pounds. The day after, 7, 8, 9, 10. So live today as our whole life. And die for the truth. I know that this journey of life is not an easy life. And I've come to this conclusion at 28 years old. When I was a kid, it was so worry-free, nothing to stress about, just dream of playing all the time. But now that I have a dream to accomplish, and I know how many opposition is standing in the way, and not only external opposition, but the internal voice, internal doubts that's constantly there bugging you. But let's die for the truth. Let's resolve to grasp that hope in our hand and look at it every single day, put it in our heart as we wake up and step out forward in the world. The Lord is here with us. So let's be the creator of light, the creator of hope, the creator of possibilities for this world, and more importantly, the creator of triumph this world is becoming. Thank you.
Okay, how do I get this back? Hmm. Oh.
Mm,
Okay, big red one. Oh, sorry, no,
No, no.
above that.
oh, I think
There's
this.
green above that.
This?
Yeah, you can also press that. Press the square. No, not that one. The square.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jason. I want to thank you for the meditation. I'll share my story. Even to this day, I don't necessarily have a quote dream of what mission I want to accomplish or that I'm here to accomplish. But I want to say that we do have the opportunity to resurrect ourselves. Since coming to Happy Science, like Jason, I have discovered a whole new me within myself. I have been able to shed away all those fears and anxieties from the material world and starting to evolve into a more true soul, finding out what I'm capable of and what I actually do enjoy. Through the movie Beautiful Lure, I've watched it a few times now, and I have gone through life a very painted skin. I am extremely fake. I do everything everybody else likes so that I will be included, so that I will be liked, so many things. But that's not what I like to do. So I'm finding now that, you know, spirituality is my passion, and there's not many people that I can interact with outside of Happy Science on that level. Most of it is very superficial level when you try to talk to people. So I still have that kind of facade when I go out into the material world. But I'm trying to keep that lower and lower and lower and just shine as I am. No matter who I'm confronted with, I just speak my truth now. Because even though they may not understand what I'm saying, there is a purpose for what I'm saying to them. I now have even greater confidence in my intuitive speech and what I share with people, that it's what they need to hear. And it's not up to me to filter it. Yes, they have to hear it at their own level. But if you have confidence in your intuitive self, you are going to share the words that they need to reflect on. So as long as you stay true to yourself and be the child of God that you were born to be, that's the resurrection. That's how you become a new person. That's how you find your passion. That's how you find your mission. You just stay true to yourself. And Eri and Hanami shared a story from Japan recently. There was a Japanese member who had shared his story. And he's a multimillionaire. And in his early 20s, he met Happy Science. And he really enjoyed Happy Science. But at the time, nobody asked him to be a staff of Happy Science. So he's like, well, what do I do? You know, question like we all ask, what do I do with my life? Especially at that age, you know, you're just starting out. How do I still incorporate master's teachings into a career? What does that even look like? And when he was 20, this is a number of years ago, Happy Science was just new. So it was very difficult. But he decided he would just focus on Master's dream. He would pray every day on what Master decided that was the dream of becoming a utopia on earth, a world religion. And this year, we were told that we need 20 million members. We're very low. We need 20 million members, and we need tenfold the income to become a world religion. So that's what he dreams every day. He dreams Master's dream. He prays Master's dream every day. And through that, then he's inspired what he needs to do. So he's built up a multi-million-dollar business, and he just donated $1 million to Happy Science. So we can do anything. I stand here, a new outfit, you know, as proof. You can be resurrected. You can heal yourself. None of our physical ailments are who we are. None of them. If we have the hope and the passion and the faith, we can heal ourselves. But we have to do the work. We have to come to temple. We have to pray. We have to watch Master's lectures. We have to make efforts. And then we will be inspired. We will cleanse our minds so clear, so brilliantly, that people will just be reflected out of our minds. And we will just be the light of God. And then we will attract more and more members. And we will become the world religion that Master envisions. And that, wow. When I think of that everybody understands why we're here, that we have a workbook, and that each person we interact with is a brother or sister soul, and that nobody gets angry because someone does or says something wrong, and that we can all just understand each other. That makes me cry. But we can do it. We may only be a few people here, but if we work diligently on ourselves, I'm often told that I maybe reflect too much. But what else are you going to do? You reflect and then you make effort. It's one thing to reflect, but then you have to make effort and to change those things that you've just reflected on. Since I've become the lay minister, it has not been an easy road. My life I thought was kind of rocky before Happy Science and before I became a lay minister. You know, I had pretty long stretches of happiness, but now it's been turned upside down. But even still, when I think about it, you know, and the doubts come into mind, and I just, oh, no, I can't think about that. I have to calm my mind. I have to calm my mind because it's too agitated to listen to the other chatter. You know, sometimes I got caught up in it all and it drove me crazy. But I'm learning now, okay, who is that? That's not me. Let's relax. Let's chill out, take a few deep breaths, you know, start over again. But that's the whole purpose of learning about who you are and letting go of all those negative pieces of you that you thought were you, that aren't really you. It's just the chatter in the material world. And what tendencies you've picked up along the way that people are reflecting back to you. Oh, you know, but once we recognize that and, you know, share all this information that Master has given with us to others, then we find our mission and our passion. And I truly, this is the only thing that I would like to do. It's hard, but I'm learning to persevere and have courage, because as a child, I never had that opportunity. I didn't do sports or, anything that I had to push myself for. I just gave up. It was okay. Nobody complained if I gave up. Nothing happened if I gave up. It was easier if I gave up. Then I didn't have any stressors. So I went along my life pretty easy. You just, if it doesn't work, it gets hard. You just, okay, try something else. But you come to a point now, it's like, well, what's your mission? Well, I don't know. But I have these teachings. So this is what I can focus on to figure that out. And at my age, I'm 65 this year, but I plan on redoing my whole life. This is my resurrection. I have a second chance. So what do I want to do? Doesn't matter what age you're at. You can start all over again. It doesn't matter. It's okay to start over again. I've done it many, many times. But this is much more fulfilling. So, pick up a book, pick up a prayer book, do something different than the day before to move you on to the next step. And it doesn't have to be huge leaps and bounds, just one small thing. One small thing. And make it a daily habit. That's what I've had to do, bite off small baby steps and work your way through. Because as we get older, even in your 20s, you've already been accustomed to certain ways, and you've picked up a lot of bad habits along the way. So it's difficult. And once we, recognize in beautiful lore, it's not just this lifetime that we've picked those habits up. It's many lifetimes. And those energies that we thought felt so right, yes, that's what I meant to do, yes. Well, maybe you need to curb it a little bit, bring it back to center a little bit. So it's a never-ending process, because we're not here just for this lifetime. We'll have next lifetime to solve what we didn't solve this time. But as Master says, die for the truth, because if we want to come back next time and help out again, how much further do we want to be? Do you want to go through this again? Or do we want to solve this and have something new to work towards when Jesus comes in a few hundred years? So that's what I'm trying. This is the best time when Master is on earth for us to clear out all of that lifetime of tendencies. I'm not going to say negative tendencies, because they are also positive tendencies. So just move them to middle point. Bring them back to the middle point. So work on just shifting them a little each day. And then we'll see where we are in 10 years. So thank you. I think I should stop now, otherwise I'll keep talking all afternoon. So thanks everyone online, and we'll just do a closing prayer. I think I'm going to do the El Cantate prayer. Prayer to El Cantate. Do you want to move the camera? Thank you, Jesus. Prayer to El Cantate. Lord El Cantate, you are our Lord, Buddha and Savior. We believe you are the Master of Masters, the highest God of this planet Earth. We believe you have a supreme power, both in heaven and on earth. You are the great spiritual being, the united consciousness of Buddha and God. Lord El Cantate, we believe you will lead all people to true happiness. We believe
the fourfold path of love, wisdom, self-reflection, and progress perfects the principles of happiness. And we truly believe these principles will save the entire world. O Lord, please grant us the holy mission to spread the truth all over the world. We will cross the vast oceans and light the beacon of truth in every corner of the world. O Lord, please entrust us with your great vow to save all humankind. We will devote our lives to creating good land utopia. Lord Elephantine, as long as you are in heaven and your disciples are on earth, we will hand down our mission to future generations and achieve your great vow. We, the disciples of Elephantine, will join together to become the ship of your great vow, to save the people and bring them to the shore of enlightenment. O Lord, we thank you very much for granting us the prayer to Elephantine.
So thank you, everyone. That concludes today's service.